Welcome back. Kathleen Hart here from the Little Piece of Heart blog. Today I'm going to make a perfect dinner for everyone. Now, sometimes I get a really big craving for a steakhouse dinner. Who wouldn't like a big steak, some veggie sides? Oh, it's amazing. However, there's a lot of times when I don't have the budget to buy steaks or go out to a nice fancy dinner. So what I decided to do is kind of make the poor man's steak dinner for you guys, and I think you're really gonna like it. Jason loved it. It's so much flavor, and we're actually gonna be using ground beef, so it's gonna be kind of a riff on a Steakhouse Burger and some Brussels sprouts to go on the side. So simple, so easy, great flavors, and it comes together so quickly. You guys are not even gonna miss going out to dinner or buying the $15 steaks from the store. So first I'm going to start off with the Brussels sprouts. And what I want to do is show you guys, these are huge. And this one's bigger, obviously. This one's a little bit on the smaller end. What I like to do is do a sheet pan, cover it in foil, cut off the ends here. We don't need those. And then we have a little head that stands up on its own. I'm cutting it in half for the smaller one, and I'm going to cut the bigger one into quarters. Just like that. If some of the leaves fall off, that's perfect. That's what we want. We want to actually take some of these and just tear them off. And then we are going to add this to our sheet pan. Tonight I'm cooking for 4 people, 3 people and myself. So I have here about 6 Brussels sprouts per person. And once I've quartered them or halved them, I like to take the outer leaves and just separate them from the core. Because when we bake these, the leaves are going to get nice and crispy, and then these cores are going to get nice and soft, and they're going to get browned on the side that they're touching the sheet pan, which is great. And I foil lined it and sprayed it with a little cooking spray first, just so that they don't stick and we can move them around. So now that we have all of our Brussels sprouts ready, I'm going to show you how I like to season them. I'm going to use some olive oil. We want to coat these just with like a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil. It doesn't have to be a lot, but I have a lot of Brussels sprouts on here. So about 2 tablespoons for that. I'm going to do some salt and pepper. And if you don't like Brussels sprouts, please give them another try. Roast them in the oven. There's nothing better than the flavor that they get when they roast in the oven. I know that a lot of people are kind of like, ew, Brussels sprouts, but seriously, they really can be really tasty, and they go alongside perfectly with this steak burger that I'm going to make. 2 more spices are going to go in, and then these babies are ready for the oven. I am preheating my oven right now at 425. These are going to cook in the oven while I make my burgers on the stovetop. You can do them on the grill, but I find that this is really easy. It just, it's right on the stove, right in the oven. It's just a really simple, easy dinner. And here I have some garlic powder. Just going to dust this right on top. And then I'm also going to do some onion powder. Just a few spices, just to wake up the flavors. All right. Now I'm going to go in with, let me de-ring really quick. Okay, we're going to go in with some clean hands and just give this a toss. We want all of the leaves to be coated in the spices and the olive oil. Everything is nice and tossed. We're going to put this in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to toss them every about 10 minutes because I don't want these thin leaves. These are going to crisp up and they're going to get dark brown. So we don't want them to burn. We want them to be nice and crispy. So I'm going to put these in the oven, then I'm going to meet you right back here, and we are going to start assembling our burgers. So now that we have our Brussels sprouts in the oven, we have to start with the burger portion of this fake steakhouse dinner. And I have here 1.3 pounds of ground beef. We are going to make everybody's steak patties, steak burgers, 1/3 pound, which I feel like is a good size. You can certainly do bigger, smaller, whatever you feel will satisfy your hunger. What I'm going to do is form these into patties, and then the only thing I'm going to use to season them is some seasoned salt. Then we're going to move over to our grill pan, and we are going to grill these babies, and it's going to be wonderful in here. It's going to smell like we're at the restaurant. So let's get started. So I scored it with my hand just to kind of map out exactly how much I wanted to make for each patty. And I'm going to take it, move it over to my little station here, and kind of form it into what I like to call like an oblong shape. I'm not going to do a burger patty. I kind of want it to look like a steak, just to resemble it. And I'm cooking for 4 people tonight. You could easily have this recipe, same with the Brussels sprouts, and make it for 2 people. That's what I did the other day for Jason and I. Okay. You don't want to play with the meat too much because that makes it tough, and nobody wants tough meat. I'm just going to go through and form the rest of these patties. I have formed our 4 patties, 1/3 of a pound each, and now I'm just going to take some seasoned salt and just give a generous sprinkling to each side. I'm going to do this side and then I'm going to flip it right over. Alright, and we got the second side of our 4th patty. So what I'm going to do is let these sit for a couple minutes. I'm going to preheat my grill pan and I will meet you over there and I'll show you how we're going to make these into the best steakhouse burgers you have ever tried. So my grill pan is still preheating for my burgers. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like after 10 minutes of these Brussels sprouts baking. As you can see, a lot of the smaller leaves are starting to get nice and brown and crispy. That's what we want, but we want to mix it really well so that they do not burn. So I'm just going to give this a nice toss, and then I'm going to level everything out. And we're going to put them right back into the oven. My grill pan's nice and hot. My Brussels sprouts have been tossed. It's time to put the burgers onto my grill. I'm going to go one by one. And right on. So I'm going to let these cook for a few minutes on the first side. We're going to flip them over, and then I'm going to show you how I turn them into steakhouse burgers 2 different ways. My Brussels sprouts have been in the oven for 20 minutes, and I think that they are perfect right now. So what I'm going to do is turn my oven off. I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of butter. I'm going to just scatter it. I cut it into small pieces. Scatter it over the Brussels sprouts. And then I'm going to give it one final toss. And since I turned the oven off, we're going to keep it in the oven just to melt that butter and keep the Brussels sprouts warm while we finish up the burgers. Okay? Just flip my last burger over to the second side. Now, how I make this into a steakhouse burger. When I think of steak, I think of blue cheese and onions and a butter sauce and, oh, so good. So, for these, I'm going to make 2 the traditional way, the way that I like to eat them, the way that Jay likes to eat them, and then 2 I'm going to make with American cheese, just for those people who don't like the strong taste of blue cheese. This is what I'm going to do. I have some red onion here, 4 thick slices, kind of thick slices, and I'm going to kind of break it apart. And on each patty, I'm going to put some onion. Just putting it right on top. The more the better, because this is going to soften a little bit from the heat of the meat. So I scattered my onion across each patty, and I have my blue cheese here. And actually I bought this as slices, but it kind of broke apart. So we're just going to scatter this right on top. And I'm going to do 2 with blue cheese on top, and I'm going to do 2 with American cheese, but you can of course do whatever cheese you prefer. Blue cheese would be preferable if you're trying to do the traditional steakhouse burger. And here we go with the American. This one's a lot easier. Right on top. This is going to take a few more seconds to cook on this side and to melt the cheese. And then we will be ready to plate with our Brussels sprouts and our steakhouse burgers up next. So as you can see, my blue cheese is not melting as fast as I want it to. The American cheese is doing perfect. That's what it's meant to do. Blue cheese is a little tougher. So I'm going to take a little bit of water. And I'm going to put it in the grill pan. As soon as it starts steaming, as soon as it hits that hot pan, it's going to start steaming. And I'm going to quickly cover it with my hand. And I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to use the steam to coat the top, and it's going to melt that blue cheese. So here we go. I just turned the heat off on my grill pan, and we are ready to plate. It smells amazing in here. I wish you guys could smell what I smell right now. This is phenomenal. I'm going to plate myself up some Brussels sprouts, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to finish them off. Get a nice helping of those. Oh, beautiful. See how some of them are nice and crispy, but then the middle is nice and soft. Oh, it's going to be so good. And we got a nice brown crust on them. These are done perfectly. Then I'm going to take a blue cheese steak right here. Perfect. Look at that. Gorgeous. Steakhouse dinner right at home. Steakhouse. Baked steak. The last touch to my Brussels sprouts is going to be some balsamic glaze. The reason why I'm going to use this today is because we have a sweet and a savory with the blue cheese. Eating this all in one bite, it's magical. I'm telling you, you are going to love it. Then drizzle some right on top, and this is what I would do. This is what I'm going to do for my guests too. I'm going to have everybody take their portion, and then you're going to go like this. Drizzle some balsamic glaze right on top of those hot Brussels sprouts. Oh my goodness, look at that. I don't know anybody who wouldn't be happy with this dinner. I really don't. And I'm going to dig in because I cannot wait anymore. I'm going to take a little piece here. The onions still have some crunch to them. That is the best part. Got a nice big piece of blue cheese. I'm going to go right in and grab a Brussels sprout. Make sure I get some balsamic on there. Get that. Put my onion piece right on top. The perfect bite. Look at that Brussels sprout. Nice and crispy. Here we go. This is where it's at. I'm telling you. You are craving a steak dinner. Don't waste your money. You can make this and get the same flavors. That raw onion on a hot burger softens it just a little bit. The melted blue cheese on there. I'm telling you, you guys gotta make this. The balsamic glaze with the blue cheese, it's a match made in heaven. It really is. Savory and sweet. It's perfect. You don't even need anything else, except maybe a good glass of wine. If you guys want to get this recipe, click the link below. You will find it on my blog with all the measurements, all the details, and come and see me again because I'm going to be sharing more recipes, more tips, more tricks. And you know what? I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you have a great night, but I'm going to go enjoy this dinner with my friends.